300,000. That's the approximate number of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises in Jamaica. If you fall within that number or hope to become your own boss, then today's show is packaged just for you. Between the pages, grant funding for businesses. Executive Director of the Heart Trust NTA, Dr. Wayne Wesley, provides the details inside this week's edition of Issues and Answers.
We looked at the MSME sector, the micro, small and medium-sized businesses, and see how can we render assistance to them. And we have come up with 3 particular interventions that will help to advance that sector.
Plus, are you part of a community-based enterprise? The Jamaica Social Investment Fund could offer assistance. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us as we seek the answers to continue growing our country.
All the people them with a Zig V, hold up your hand. Zig V in the Caribbean territory, but we now want that virus take set pan we. So make sure send no stagnant water inside and mash up all mosquito breed inside. Pour hole in the tin them where you dash way and change the water in your vase every day. No litter, dispose of your garbage proper. You know them the thing they will turn drain blacker. Tour your community and tour your yard for suppress mosquito. We have figure hard dash we all tire turnover drum pan for prevention is the greatest weapon. And special shout out to pregnant ladies. Protect yourselves and protect your babies. Draw for your zapper and your mosquito spray. If you do all that we can to keep them away. For we know what's in thing.
The media landscape is awash with commercials offering a variety of loans, but consumers be cautious about these seemingly attractive deals. Loan companies sometimes practice overlending to consumers and impose excessive fees and onerous contract terms. If you are seeking a loan, try to approach reputable organizations like banks and credit unions. Consider these points before you borrow: the purpose of the loan, the terms and conditions including the type of interest and the associated processing fees, the period for repayment, and other non-interest related charges. If you think a loan offer is misleading or false, contact the Consumer Affairs Commission. Call 906-5425, 906-8568, or 906-0813. They're located at 34 Trafalgar Road, Kingston 10.
The Heart Trust NTA has been in the news a lot lately. That's because they're rolling out a list of new programs, some geared towards the micro, small and medium-sized sector. Next, Executive Director of the Human Employment and Resource Training Institute, Dr. Wayne Wesley, speaks with host Ian Boyne. Watch this.
Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. The Heart NTA is doing a number of interesting things. There are a number of innovative programs which the organization has, which are impacting the lives of many thousands of Jamaicans. We have its Executive Director, Dr. Wayne Wesley, with us today, and he'll be talking to us about a number of these exciting programs. Thank you so much for your company. Dr. Wesley, good to have you on Issues and Answers. When I look at the number of things that you are doing and are about to do, it's very impressive. Outline some of the main areas of your achievements over the last year.
Thank you very much, Ian, for having me, and a good day to your listeners. The Heart Trust NTA has set out on a mission to become integrated, flexible and responsive. In other words, we wanted to remain relevant and innovative in our approaches in treating with the development of the Jamaican workforce. In that regard, we have begun to look at how is it that we're going to be making a difference in training and certifying the Jamaican workforce. And accordingly, we have started out by looking first as, so if you look at the HEART, the acronym HEART, the E in HEART is actually employment. Yes. And we have started out by looking how can we begin to effect some amount of employment generation. And to that end, we looked at the MSME sector, the micro, small, and medium-sized businesses, and see how can we render assistance to them. And we have come up with 3 particular interventions that will help to advance that sector and grow economically in generating employment. We have started out firstly with the Smart Track program, which is a training program would allow persons to be certified up to our level 3 National Vocational Qualification level 3 certification in small business management. And that program is so designed so that they can actually attempt the various units in modules. So they don't have to do the entire qualification at once.
Has the flexibility.
Once an assessment would have been completed and they recognize where the deficiencies are, then the appropriate module can be selected for them to pursue the requisite training that they would require. From this Smart Track program, we have also developed what we call a grant funding assistance program, which MSMEs can access up to $3 million in grant. That will allow them to expand their capacity. But the thing to that $3 million grant is that whatever expansion is happening should lead to employment, at least the engagement of one of our trainees or anybody else seeking employment, as well as facilitating our apprenticeship program in building capacity. So that $3 million grant is for expanding their capacity that should lead to an individual being, an additional person being employed by their establishment. And in addition to that, we have also come up with $100,000 grant to anybody completing our level 3 training program and would be in a position to start their own businesses. That grant is for really our trainees. Once they have completed at least up to our level 3 program, where they would have acquired a good understanding of the skill that they have perfected, then we will seek to engage them with $100 million in grant for equipment. Oh, sorry. Yes.
yes.
Oh,
You'll reach there eventually.
Eventually. But $100,000 in grant that
Excellent.
will help them to start their own businesses and begin to be meaningfully engaged within society. So that is it on our MSME program. We have also recognized that a lot of our training institutions are bursting at the seams. And one of the ways to treat with exceeding our capacities through partnerships. And we are forging a lot of partnerships now with several entities, through communities, churches, the community colleges, other tertiary institutions, to see how we can make available to all the demands that are placed on us, other facilities that are willing to partner with us to deliver those training programs.
So which means that you use the facilities of the churches, community groups, and so on to conduct programs.
To conduct programs. I mean, many persons would know about Boulevard Baptist, where we do have a training program, but there are other churches coming on stream now that do have the facility to engage our young people meaningfully with certain skill set, and we are working with them to make that happen. The other area that we are looking at, within deep rural, a lot of training facilities are not available. And so we have come up with our mobile services that will actually go into these deep rural areas to offer training and certification. We have started so far in St. Thomas with our mobile welding lab. We call it Mobile Welding Sparks. And that is out there now training approximately 20 persons in welding technology. And that will be moving around to different areas.
Taking the training to the people.
Taking the training to the people who would not normally have access to these labs. And we figure using our mobile technology is an innovative approach right now, because we cannot build a facility in every single community. But if we are able to have these labs made available to drive in this community for 6 to 8 weeks, delivering training, it will help to advance what we need to do. So
yes, we're going to take a break at this point. So Heart NTA is using creative and innovative means of delivering services to you, the public. We're speaking to the Executive Director of the Heart NTA, Dr. Wayne Wesley. We take a break, but we'll be right back.
This is Diane Edwards from JamPro. Stay tuned. You're watching Issues and Answers on Jamaica Magazine with Ian Boyne.
Businessmen and women, members of the MSMEs, no longer do you have to visit several government agencies to register a company or business name. Visit the COJ. They are willing and prepared to assist you in filling out the new business registration form, more commonly known as the super form.
The overwhelming response from the majority of our customers is, why did this take so long to happen? There are persons who actually waited until January 2nd to come here to do their business because they wanted to avoid going to multiple government departments.
Click on ocrjamaica.com for more details.
Exciting, innovative programs of the Heart Trust NTA. Its Executive Director, Dr. Wayne Wesley, is our guest on Issues and Answers. So you were going through the suite of programs being offered.
Just to say, for the mobile services that we are offering, by the end of March, we'll have two other mobile labs available. One in restaurant services and another in industrial electronics. And you can see the expansion in the hospitality and tourism industry now, where that restaurant services lab will be very critical in training a lot of the persons in deep rural who will be able to benefit from these opportunities in the hospitality and tourism industry, as well as our mobile career coach. And that coach is available. Persons can actually call in 188-HEART-NTA and book that mobile career coach to come and give guidance to young people, whether in schools, at churches, in community affairs, whatever you're having. That mobile coach can drive up and deliver the full suite of programs that we offer, services that we offer within our regional offices, because we want to make sure access is not something that prevents someone from gaining the relevant training that they're looking forward to. And so those services are on now to make sure that we can reach particularly deep rural where persons would not normally have access to these programs. One of the things we have thought to do as well, we recognize that persons need to be educated, and in making their career choices, it must be made from an informed position. And we have taken the view at the Heart Trust NTA that information must be available. And in that regard, you would have heard us launch our inaugural Labour Market Research Day last week as a part of the Ministries of Education Career Week, where we present to the public information that will aid them in making right career choices. And so we have come up with our Labour Market Research Portal, and anybody who wants to understand what is the labour market information saying, they can log on lmip@heart.nta.org, and you will get access to all our labour market information.
Wants to know, what are the areas that are fastest growing? What are the areas where there is the greatest demand? Because I don't want to be registering for courses, that
will not lead to
careers.
employment.
Yes, will not lead to.
So they can just log on to that webpage, and it gives them access to information that they can use to make an informed choice in the career area. And we encourage parents as well to go on and check it out, because we recognize that parents do play an integral role in advising and encouraging their children as to what areas they should be pursuing. And this is another service that we offer for persons to have access to real-time information about the labor market that can advise them as to where they ought to be going.
And just this past week, you announced a $100 million assistance to the Students' Loan Bureau to reach a certain segment. To talk about that and the importance of that.
Yes, we do conduct what we call our stakeholder consultation, where we talk to employers and other stakeholders who benefit from our graduates. And one of the things they have outlined to us is that they're looking for persons at the higher level of the qualification framework, persons with higher skill sets. And in order for us to facilitate that, we have thought to partner with the Student Loan Bureau, the SLB, to ensure that persons who are pursuing areas in the STEM disciplines and the technical vocational education and training discipline, that they can have access to funding that will allow them to complete their programs at the higher level. And in that regard, our board gave approval for us to give a further $100 million to the SLB to on-lend to persons pursuing areas that are driven by labor market indicators, as well as higher level program that we want them to pursue. And that will now take our total contribution to the SLB to $350 million for loan for persons pursuing areas in TVET and STEM subjects.
So that heart is reaching the various categories of persons in training and in employment.
Precisely. That's precisely what we are aiming at. And that is why the loan is tied to, it must be funding programs that are driven by labor market information.
Yes. Well, we have so much more to talk about. We have to bring you back next week. The Executive Director of the Heart Trust NTA, Dr. Wayne Wesley, is spending time with us, telling us of the exciting things that are taking place, the services that are available to you. Stay tuned to us here where you get this very useful information. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant day.
This is Romain Virgo. I'm here appeal to all of the youths them to just stay away from crime and violence. We know the temptation, the money, the fast life. People say them rate you, but that will only take you nowhere. If you stay in school and focus, and you can achieve anything. Be your own leader. A gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
The Jamaica Social Investment Fund continuously works within communities to empower residents. In this next feature, we'll look at how the fund is collaborating with an organization that caters to members of the disabled community.
Since 1969, the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, has been providing financial aid to numerous countries within the region, especially in the area of community development. In Jamaica, the CDB has funded 2 major social intervention projects managed by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. They are the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Community Investment Project. The Community Investment Project, CIP, operates at a cost of $15 million, which is jointly paid for by the CDB and Jamaican government. It aims to improve on infrastructural development in rural communities. One component of CIP is the Bridge Jamaica program, targeted at families living below the poverty line who don't have access to social amenities. The program is executed by JSIF in tandem with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, along with other partners.
We're targeting 30 treatment families in the parishes of Portland, St. Thomas, and Trelawney, but we're also having 30 control groups. Now, what that means is that 30 of the groups would have been on path and receiving the Bridge project, and 30 groups would only be on path, because at the end of the day, we want to be able to get a good assessment of how this project actually supplements the PATH project.
Mostly administered in the comfort of the participant's home, social workers employ a mixture of games and psychosocial assessments, which should help the families realize their goals of self-actualization.
Before the Bridge project, these families, under normal circumstances, wouldn't have had such access to education, employment opportunities, etc. So now that the project is being operated, these families are more motivated, they're more self-determined and resilient in their efforts. They are more involved in the problem-solving process, and they really are more participative in the program. So this will not only improve the standard of living, but it will allow them to be more independent and responsible for their own success in life.
Well, this program has been a great help to me and my family, based on the fact that there are things I wanted to do before I've been introduced to this program, but when it was unable to, based on lacking of financial support.
With Shelly-Ann now, she now owns a NIS card. Her TRN is in the process, as well as birth certificates for her children. She's also working on getting a passport. Now, before the program, this wasn't possible.
I think JSIF is doing a very good job in trying to alleviate poverty within families by helping us to cross over this imaginary bridge, which leads to better education, a higher self-esteem and independence. So I want to thank them for choosing me to be a part of this program.
Like CIP, the Basic Needs Trust Fund BNTF seeks to create sustainable communities through infrastructural development and skills training. However, the program expands to include environmental protection and caters to rural and urban communities. Launched by the CDB in 1979 with assistance from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, the Basic Needs Trust Fund has to date completed 6 cycles.
Now in the 7th phase, with a tune of about $6.9 million from the CDB. That program will focus on human and resource development, education, water and sanitation, and community access and drainage.
Catering not only to the cognitive needs, but also the social development of its students, Genesis Academy sought the assistance of JSIF to enhance its environment. At a cost of approximately $15 million, the Academy was fully equipped with a play area, multi-purpose court, and green space.
First of all, as you know, learning takes place not only in the classroom, but also at play. So having this space for our children, it gives us a wonderful opportunity to have them grow socially and physically. One child in particular, a young lady, she was able to stand and hold on to the bars and walk a few steps, and over time she's walking independently. We just want to say a big thank you to the Basic Needs Trust Fund through JSIF for funding this project, because without them we would not be able to provide this wonderful facility for our children.
Thousands of Jamaicans have benefited from social transformation programs through the combined efforts of JSIF and the Caribbean Development Bank. For more information on the Caribbean Development Bank's portfolio, call JSIF's toll-free line 1-888-991-23567. Send an email to feedback@jsif.org or visit their website, jsif.org. Remember to like their Facebook page. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, investing for community development.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare you to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand.
The Office of the Children's Advocate is very aware that we have some parents who get particularly anxious at the start of a new school year. And so we really just wanted to share with you a few tips that you can utilize to help keep your children, especially the very young ones who are going out for the first time, nice and safe from sexual abuse. Parents need to recognize that the private parts, as we call them, or the genitalia, are regular parts of the body. And so in teaching your children about the forehead and the nose and the hand, you can also teach them the names of these body parts, because that does two things. It puts them in a position to speak about these parts when something is going wrong, and it also tells them that even though they're private parts, it's not too private to talk about, particularly with a parent. Children need to know that there should be no secrets between them and their parents or guardians. Oftentimes, when persons want to abuse children, they tend to encourage them to keep a little secret. You know, this is between me and you. But from very early, parents need to establish with their children that the lines of communication are open. Mommy and daddy, or auntie and uncle, or whoever is the responsible adult in that child's life, can actually have a discussion, age appropriate of course, about anything at all that may be troubling the child. The third tip is that parents need to cultivate throughout the child's lifespan that environment whereby the child feels comfortable to speak. Conversation should not be off limit, topics should not be taboo, and you really need to get to a stage whereby you have teachable moments, we call them. So we see a lot of things reported in the newspapers, sometimes on the nightly news, and we can use some of these instances of horrible things that are happening to other children to start little discussions with our own children to give them tips as to how they can avoid or prevent, perhaps completely, any such reality happening to them. For these tips, and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134 or website www.oca.gov.jm.
Well, I dare to make a difference, and I dare to take a stand. Let me dare you to think of someone else who's in need of a helping hand.
Wet hands with water. Apply enough soap to cover all hand surfaces. Rub hands palm to palm. Right palm over left dorsum with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Backs of fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotational rubbing of left thumb clasped in right palm and vice versa. Rotational rubbing backwards and forwards with clasped fingers of right hand in left palm and vice versa. Rinse hands with water. Dry hands thoroughly with a single-use towel. Use towel to turn off faucet. Your hands are now safe.
Was it the party of your choice that won Thursday's general elections? On second thought, I do not wish to hear. Because, now more than ever, it's important to not allow party lines to divide us. We need to be united. Let's work with the incoming government to build this nation into the powerhouse country that we are destined to be. Togetherness is needed as there's much to be done. A budget needs to be tabled. We need to once again conquer the Olympics, which is in just a couple of months. Plus, come this Friday, we celebrate Jamaica Day. While the national celebrations take center stage at the St. Mary Technical High School, citizens and corporate entities are encouraged to show off their talents in the areas of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Put on your black, green, and gold. Show the world that we've matured politically, that no matter which P is in power, we are a united front, ready to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
Tomorrow, let's renew our pledge to God as we work to heal our land and fellow man. Let's join hands across Jamaica for righteousness. Let's join hands across Jamaica for righteousness.
We leave you with this message. Yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. For more information on Hard Trust NTA assistance for MSMEs, click on our webpage, jis.gov.jm. There you'll also find lots of information on the work of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund. We're also on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, so log on and stay in the know. In the meantime, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.